All right, I'm talking to Gabe and Native Dave of Guardians. How are you guys doing?
We're good. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good this morning.
All right, yeah, I just you guys just had a show last night in Gallup, so that's really cool. It's my first time seeing you guys. I heard of you guys before. I know you guys play mostly like in the Tucson, Phoenix area.
Right.
So I guess that was cool to see you guys play live. We could start out just like by introducing you guys. Like, how long have you guys been in the band Guardians?
Guardians. I've been with Guardians from the get-go. Myself and Ahéhee, the drummer, are the founders of Guardians. Anthony had a practice space in Tucson, and he was just looking to jam with somebody, so I went. He called me. I went over there. We really didn't plan it, we were just gonna rock out together, and it kind of turned into something then, because I played in previous bands of my own and had these old riffs that just lurked, and I showed him, and it kind of just took off from there.
Yeah. Were you always on guitar, or were you on other positions?
No, as far as when I started playing guitar and got in my first band, I was actually guitarist and vocals in that band. And the second one, I was a guitarist and backing vocals. And this one, when we started it, I was actually doing vocals in the beginning in the practice space. But I really wanted to just focus on playing guitar this time. So I was in the search for somebody to take the role of frontman.
Awesome. Yeah. And when did you get on? I believe you're on bass, right, Dave?
Yes. So I had gotten a call just while these guys were jamming at Francisco Studios, and actually got a message asking if I wanted to come out and jam out with them. So I didn't think anything of it. I wasn't doing anything. So yeah, I went to jam out, and we kind of clicked. We felt something within the songs. So was it 2015?
I believe 14.
Yeah, this was back in 2014. So we didn't even plan, to get this far. We're just jamming.
Yeah.
But yeah, I came third.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, when you guys played last night, I'd say you guys play like a lot of. Is it mostly thrash metal, or do you guys like have your own kind of like style?
It's super interesting when we have the question, because even within the band and ourselves, we have so many influences, and our influences are pretty similar. And I believe there's a wide variety of music that we listen to, but at the same time, like when people ask us where we stand within the different types of metal, we know it as metal. We grew up listening to metal music in the 80s, and going from there. So we can't really answer. I honestly can't really answer, but we opened for Morro Guardian in Scottsdale, and Carlos Zima, the singer, is a really cool guy, came out, and he was really stoked while we were in the back, and he said, it's been a long time since I heard death thrash. And I kind of looked around, and is that what it is? Are we a death thrash band? I don't know. So I couldn't answer the question. I don't know if Native Dave here could.
From the get-go, I just started hashtagging our music as Rez Metal when we first started recording our stuff. Just not professionally recording, but like just off our phones. I was shared on social media and hashtag Rez Metal. But little did I know, it was already happening up north in the Navajo reservation. So it kind of fit now that we're in that category of Rez Metal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can definitely hear it. Yeah, to me, I don't know. This is just me. When I was listening to you guys last night, I know I caught some of your songs. What was it? I know was it Alla Morte, the last song? Yeah, that one probably the fastest. Like a lot of like, especially with the drum beat and the tempo. Kind of to me it was definitely like death thrash metal. Yeah, I really dig you guys' vocalist. Is it AJ?
JR.
Or JR? Okay, JR. Yeah, JR. He's pretty cool vocalist. I dig his style. And then so JR is your vocalist and your drummer is AJ.
Right.
Okay, cool. Yeah, they couldn't be here, but yeah, I'm glad you guys were able to talk with me and talk about Guardians. One thing I wanted to know, you guys are from the Tohono O'odham reservation around the Cells area, Tucson. What's the heavy metal music scene out in Cells like out on the TO reservation?
Right now, it's kind of not happening. However, a lot of bands before us were actually active. What bands were there?
Back then, Body Part Rain was one of the bands that I think kind of was really active at that time. And then to follow Body Part Rain, there was Ghost Within the Machine, which Native Dave and AJ were in a band together. And then myself, we came in a little bit later with the band called Inevitable Hate. And JR was in his own band called Scavenger. And then there was an older band, and I don't know how further back they were, or if that was around that same time, but Fort Insane was another band. So there was a scene in those early times, like 90s or something like that. But now, as far as active bands back home, I don't want to say we're the only ones that are super active, but because you had a band called Zombie Cannabis, good friends of ours, and they were pretty active also in the Cells area. And right now, I can't think of if there's any other bands besides us from back home that are super active.
Okay.
I'd just like to mention, I remember when I was young, I went to one of the nation's rodeo and fair and saw a band called Core, and they were playing what was thrash metal back then, and that was kind of what did it for me. So that kind of like goes way back. But there's also Warpaint, that was another band, and Fractured, just to kind of add in there. So there's been some flow of metal bands that have come and gone, but I think right now, just to kind of add to Gabe, we're probably the most longest active band right now.
Awesome. Yeah, I've been to Cells. I went to the fair and rodeo when I was younger. We used to dance powwow and go out there, and I remember Chicken Scratch was like really big. Yeah. How do the people on the Tohono O'odham reservation perceive your band and your music?
I think we've gotten a really good response when it comes to like the people that like metal music. We've only done 2 shows back home, and one was the very first show that we ever done by getting out of the practice room with a gathering called Hollow Wicked that it happens every October. These guys put on this big old show, and it's really cool. They put the whole thing together, everything from the bands to the stage to the backyard wrestling, and it's super cool to have been a part of that. We've done it a couple times, but that was actually our first show, and the second time we did it right there at the fairgrounds, and it was a really good response. Like I was surprised that there was a large amount of people that came out to this show, and we weren't the only band there. We had that night ourselves and Guardians, Ocean Harvest out from the Hill River area, Zombie Cannabis themselves, and I believe they were Within Walls, which was the band that was coming up themselves. So the response that I think we've gotten so far, and even just through social media, has been really good. I think. I don't know if...
we also did the Nation's Rodeo and Fair, which was probably one of the biggest ones because it was actually at the fairgrounds. And then I think the one that really helped us to take off was the Ahéhee District Street Fair. That's when we actually created our Facebook page and got our first invite to come out to Phoenix. So our first show in Phoenix was at Yucca Tap Room. Okay. And from then on, it's just been show after show.
Yeah, super nonstop. And that was a native metal fest, and that's kind of where we discovered all these other native bands that were super active and are still active today. And we've gotten to make a lot of good contacts and make new friends within the scene of Rez Metal, and again, it's super awesome to have that and just continue to build community within Rez Metal and be a part of it wherever it takes us. It's always super awesome.
Oh yeah, it's I guess from my own perspective on the reservation here around the Navajo reservation, it seems more welcome, I guess, because like they host like the metal bands at the Navajo Nation Fair, and then they bring the fair committee will bring a band, like a well-known band. I think this past year Queensryche played at the Navajo Nation Fair.
Right.
And the past few years, I think Anthrax and Testament were on the Navajo Nation Fair. So I think it's getting more, I guess, welcoming. But I can see like maybe some reservations where it's not like that. Maybe it's still kind of, I don't know. They might have like a negative perception of it, but
I don't wanna, and I'll go ahead and mention it because it did happen. But when we did do the Vinum BS just 3-4 weeks ago,
right?
It was on the Gila River Reservation, and everything was legit from advertising it and their events page, and it's a big rodeo and fair. But they cut our show after the second band?
First band.
Oh, okay. Was this the Saskatoon show?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and then they had a cool stage and everything, but I just heard that there was a complaint and
what?
They shut it down. And you had 8 bands?
Yeah.
Wow.
10 bands that were set to play.
Yeah. Luckily, the guy that put it on had a backup plan, and we moved everything to somebody's house.
Right.
And we continued to play, and people came out.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. So someone just didn't like the music and complained to the fair committee or something?
Yeah.
Well, I believe it was somebody within those levels of committee.
Okay, like an official of the I guess fair.
Right. But yeah, again, like he was saying, it was actually there was a plan B, and we have to shout out Andrew. He's the one that puts on the Vinum Fest every year, and we've done it 2 times that they've had this, and the past 2 times it was a successful turnout. Maybe the second time towards the end, it kind of got shut down. I don't know if it was shut down or if our time was up. But overall, I believe people came out, and it was a really awesome time. But this time it was just completely different. And again, shout out to Andrew. Andrew plays in a band called Cemented, and he also is the sitting-in drummer for Ocean Harvest now. We had that backup plan to move everything to somebody's house.
Yeah.
So like you said, people followed where it got out, and maybe not everybody that was there, because even through social media, we were reading comments of people saying that they tried to go to that stage, and there was no metal bands there. So they were bummed out about it.
Yeah.
So not everybody got the message that we were relocating.
Okay.
But for the ones that did, it was a really fun night.
Yeah, I remember I saw the flyers for that show. It looked pretty cool. Saint Breaker played that show.
Right.
Yeah, I've seen them play a couple times around Phoenix, and then there's that one band, Ritual Moon. I've been like just listening to their music for a while. They're pretty sick.
Ritual Moon and
Blitz. Oh yeah, I haven't really heard them.
Traveling bands that came out.
Oh man, that sucks that they had to relocate for them.
They were like from where? Virginia and
LA.
LA.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was really cool though, because even after the set that they did, they were still stoked just to be in that environment and get the response that they did, which they got a really good response both times. So yeah, it was super awesome.
Yeah. I was looking at you guys like social media pages. You guys do a lot of shows. It looks like you guys maybe do like 2 or 3 a month. It seems like.
Sometimes every weekend.
Every weekend. Wow.
I don't know if we don't know how to say no, but the people that we do connect with as far as promotions or promoters, we highly respect, and so it's really based on like our schedules.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if it doesn't work for one of us, then we're cool with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was one flyer I saw. I think it was for the Apache Gold. I think it was during the Veterans Weekend.
Right.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. It was actually inside the casino, or
Right. Yeah. That was the first time I was in the casino. I don't know if it was the first time, but we did it 2 years, and the first time we got there, it was outside. It was super cold, and we're not used to the cold. And I was just saying that earlier to Serafina here. I was like, I don't know how you guys do it out here. It's cold even now.
Yeah.
But I said I belong in the sun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And this time it was inside, and it was super cool. They had a stage inside and this whole sound system, the works. It was really cool.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. I mean, it sounds like you guys go to different reservations. What's the furthest place you guys traveled for a show or to play a show?
I believe it was probably Oregon.
Oh, wow.
We have a good friend of ours in a band called Damage Overdose. His name's Chuck, and he invited us out to play their Rez Metal Fest out there in Warm Springs. So Oregon's probably the longest, furthest. We flew out to that one, so it was really awesome.
Wow.
Talk about cold, man.
Dang.
I couldn't handle that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was funny. We left the valley in shorts, jackets, sweaters, whatever, and it was nice, warm. But we get there and it's raining, it's cold. We had to build a fire in this barrel, and we were the only ones standing around it at the end of the night. Everybody else walking around in shorts and short sleeve shirts, and
Wow.
yeah, so everybody knew we weren't from Oregon or in the area. So they started to bring us boxes to keep the fire going.
Damn. Yeah, that's cool. I mean, you said it was on the reservation out there?
Yeah, Warm Springs Reservation, and
Alright.
the second was probably LA.
Okay.
We did a LA show with Death Rider Productions, also with Saint Breaker, a band called Lepra, and there was 2 more other bands. But that was interesting. It was a pretty awesome night.
Nice. Yeah, that's cool. You guys are traveling far for shows. It's cool getting your name out there. So last night when you guys played, you guys mentioned that you guys have plans to release like an album or an EP. How far along are you guys with that?
It would be an EP, and we just got done with guitars and bass, so we are just waiting for the mixes. We've gotten one back, but we still need to do vocals is the only thing that needs to be done, and I believe they're going to go back in and kind of redo some leads and stuff like that, and then after that's done, it's just vocals.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, that's cool. Will it be coming out this year or early next year?
I'm hoping it's going to be this year. To me, it's actually moving faster than I thought it was gonna. But and I know there's still more of a process, but it's been some years. We've done more shows than we've done any studio time.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a process, I think, just for us to kind of learn how long it's going to take. So we're hoping to get this done and then release another one.
Yeah.
Hopefully that works out.
Yeah. I mean, just based on the songs you guys played last night, I'm looking forward to it. Oh, I forgot to ask one question earlier. Which bands would you say you guys draw the most inspiration or influence from?
Individually or as a whole, I don't know.
Individually, yeah.
Me, I guess when I'm writing certain riffs or whatever, when I'm writing music, I'm not really trying to. I don't really have a whole lot of like things in my head, but a lot of stuff that I listen to, like Cannibal, Death, Obituary, a lot of like the 80s death metal. But I also listen to like a lot of like the newer stuff. Revocation is not new, but they fairly are one of the highest for me. Skeleton Witch, and it's funny because one of the last time we played here, the War Motor guy came to us and he was like, "You guys," he was really digging it, and he was like, "You guys sound like Skeleton Witch." And to me, I thought that was really cool because I love Skeleton Witch.
Yeah.
But individually, there's a wide variety. I could be listening to old school thrash, death, and whatever else today, and then tomorrow something else.
Yeah. How about you, Dave?
For myself, I listen to more these days black metal bands, and I think the three that I really like am influenced by are Satiricon and Immortal. Well, Abath now, but Marduk.
Yeah.
And I don't do much of the writing process. I maybe threw a riff in here and there, and past songs. So a lot of the stuff that I add is basically just filling in between what these guys are doing.
Yeah.
And then a lot of it is just my performance on stage with the paint and everything.
Yeah, I noticed the Abath, the paint that's like Abath
Yes.
from Immortal. Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. I dig it. Yeah, I think you guys kind of got all of my questions. I know you guys got a long drive. How long did it take to? Is it like 6 or 7 hours?
I'm actually in the valley,
Okay.
so it took us a little over 4 hours
Okay.
or so. But I think for Anthony and JR, and they're coming back from home, they're probably close to like 7-8 hours or something like that.
Okay. Awesome. Well, yeah, that's far.
I come from Tucson, so that was about 6 hours.
Okay. Yeah, I lived in Phoenix. I don't go back very much. Like every now and then, I'll go to a concert or something. But yeah, Tucson. I used to live out there, and yeah, it would take me like 5 or 6 hours just to go out there. Anyone you want to recognize or shout out?
Yeah, I think just the people in general, man. I mean, like you said, we seem like we're hitting almost every reservation, but I think there's still more to be visited. But the more that we've come back, the more we've gotten a response, and it's always super awesome to interact with people on and off the stage and back wherever. So just a shout out to everybody, man, that showed up last night, to all the promoters, to people like yourself that helped to get more of the word out of what we're doing and what other bands are doing. And to anybody that's going to take the time to listen to this podcast, man, there's 80 episodes. Go back in those episodes and then listen to all these other interviews, man. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this. Our families. Today, the people are probably out with their families right now, and we're going to make our way back.
Oh, yeah.
So to shout out to our families back home and everybody else that supported us from the get-go.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Oh, one more thing. We wanted to mention some upcoming shows.
Yeah, so our upcoming shows are also this month, next weekend in Scottsdale. We're going to be doing a show with Ocean Harvest. It's going to be the headlining show. You got quite a few native metal bands that are going to be on that show, such as Alliance, ourselves, Graves of the Monument, I believe, are on there. And you can find that information on our band page, the flyer. And then on the 21st, we just got added to the Pyrexia show, which is I'm super stoked for, straight out of the New York area, death metal. That's going to be happening in Tucson at Encore. If I'm right on that information, we do have tickets for sale, $18 a ticket. So yeah, check out our band page. Both Facebook and Instagram at Guardians AZ.
Oh yeah. And what was your other pages, Dave?
Yeah, so I have a SoundCloud page just under Native Dave, and then I also have a YouTube page called Native Dave's Metal Channel. And on the YouTube page, every show that we play, I'll capture videos of bands that, for instance, last night I got some footage from mostly every band, and so I'll upload them as well. And so if you go and look on there, you'll see so many bands. You know, I don't think any of them know that they're on there, but it goes back a ways.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then just to add earlier, ones that I kind of wanted to highlight as far as shout-outs are the people that we've been working with the most, which is Immortalized Productions, Rabbit Hole Productions, Decibel of Rain, and then Promotions right now, who's bringing us on to open for Praxia next week. And then also I Don't Conform. They've kind of, I don't want to say they took us under their wing, but they've really been a voice for us, and I'm just kind of honored. You know, last night Kyle did it again and just kind of gave the crowd, just a heads up on, our band, we were going to come on. And so that's not a first, but we're good friends with them. There's so many that I can name, but my newest favorite band is Narbona. I got a Narbona shirt on.
Yeah, Narbona is awesome.
Yeah, they killed it last night. And so, yeah, I could go on people that I want to highlight, but I think we covered pretty much.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, just to echo that, yeah, he is totally right about I Don't Conform, and Kyle and the guys. We've gotten to know them really well, and man, yeah, there's so much to say about those guys and everything else. So shout out to those guys and thanks to those guys.
Yeah.
So
awesome. Yeah. Thanks again, guys.
Thank you.
All right.